Hello and a very warm welcome to a very cool Inniskeen Grattan's Club in County Monaghan. We're here for the Masita GAA All-Ireland Post-Primary Schools Hurling B Final. The teams are competing for the Paddy Buggy Cup, and those teams are St Patrick's Maghera from Derry and Colaiste Choilm from Tullamore. The cup has gone to Munster schools for the last 3 years, but today it will be going to either Ulster or Leinster. The referee is John Keane from Galway, and we're about to get underway here. The ball is thrown in. We have Colaiste Choilm getting the ball immediately in the really sort of orange tops. And that's number 11, Brian Dagnan. He was a hero from the semi-final, and he's into the action right away, trying to make an impact in the first minute, but Maghera clear the line, so only as far as Emmett Curley from the Inniskeen club, and that's Kevin McDermott now trying to get a little bit of room, trying to get a bit of space, but there's 3 Maghera men around him and they clear their lines, but straight back to Colaiste Choilm, unless Maghera can do something about that, and they can. So very nervy in the early stages, but there's a high ball into the Tullamore area. Will that go over it? No, it's just gone wide, and that gives me a chance to introduce my summariser today, and there's a little break here, so we've got more time to do it. Sean McGordy. Sean, you are of course well known in schools. You know your schools, you know your hurling. You're from the St Gall's Club in Antrim. You received the President's Award a couple of years ago. I wasn't going to mention all this just now, but we've got loads of time now, so I may as well do it. What do you think about this game today?
Thanks very much, Jerome. There's a really strong breeze blowing from right to left, and it's quite clear already that Tullamore have decided to play with at least 2 sweepers, and the problem for Maghera is that they need to get a lead up here, otherwise it could be a big difficulty in the second half.
Okay, well Maghera are going to try and do something about that right now, and as you say, there's a couple of sweepers in there, so Tullamore are going to try and keep the score down in the first half and keep Maghera out as much as they can. They've played it down to the stand side here, and that is Fergal O'Castagh, the captain of Maghera, clearing his lines, but again straight into the hands of the sweeper, and that seems to be the tactic that is going to be dominating the first half, if going by the first few minutes, Sean.
Yeah, and interestingly, amazingly in fact, even though Maghera is playing with a strong breeze, they have employed a sweeper as well, and one wonders whether that will come back to haunt them in the second half.
Yeah, you'd wonder why it would be necessary at all, and there's a stick broken in the middle of the pitch as well. A lot of Maghera men around there, but we'll see. I was going to bring in Sean there, but we'll see what happens from this. But yeah, there could be a point. That looks like a point. Yeah, that is a point right away for Maghera. The first score of the game from Dominic Bradley from the Swatter Club. So that's 1 point to no score for St Patrick's Maghera.
Yeah,
and it was amazing, Sean, the way it just flew over the bar, as you say, with the wind.
A huge win there, and that's a great confidence booster, because people coming here, young boys, are nervous, and getting the score is a very good way to settle the team, and that'll be a big plus for them.
Colaiste Choilm looking to break to reply to that, and a big crowd here in Inniskeen Grattan's from both clubs. That's a lovely score by Mark Dillon from the Inniskeen club that brings us level in the early stages. Just 3 minutes gone. And that was a well-taken score, all his own work. He won it from a little bit of the puck out, and then a little bit of a melee in the middle of the pitch, and he went through and put it over himself. And you can see again the effect of the wind there from the goalkeeper's puck out all the way into enemy territory. Now, number 11 is Patter McLaughlin from Kilray with the yellow helmet, and he gets it into the forwards, and that's a wonderful catch by Tiernan McHugh. And is that going to go over? Let's see the verdict. The umpires aren't too sure. I think they're reaching for the white flag. Well, one of them, yeah, he's gone for it. It was certainly a wonderful bit of skill, even though there seems to be a bit of indecision there, Sean. That was a lovely catch and finish.
It was a fantastic catch and finish. The linesman has now intervened to give his point of view in respect of that score, and it could well be that the score is written off. The referee's now going to consult his umpires.
Yeah, it looks like the umpire who put up the white flag has now changed his mind, or maybe he's had a word with the other umpire, but the referee is in there now. Really hard to see.
Yeah, I mean,
from here, and
I wasn't sure that it was over the bar, and certainly the linesman's intervention would suggest that it's not going to count. And
yeah, definitely not.
That's what's happened.
Seems to be the right decision, though, to be fair.
Yeah, does indeed.
Because you know, the umpires weren't sure, the linesman definitely wasn't, so if you're not sure, you can't give it. So we stay at 1 point each after 4.5 minutes. And the goalkeeper, Conor Brofel from Nathena, will get us underway again. And let's see how far he can put this ball into the wind. Well, he's getting it to almost to halfway. And that'll be a free to Colaiste Choilm, who are in this decider for the first time. They've never won it. And Sean, you'll know them as Tullamore CBS in years gone by, of course.
Yes, it's the referee's moving the ball forward there.
Why was that? I didn't
because
see what
Maghera guy hadn't
too
retreated
close,
the distance.
Okay. I'm not sure it'll make too much difference. It's not. He's certainly not going to put it over from there. So
No,
this will be
absolutely.
dropped in around the house, as they say. There's an extra Maghera man back in there, and it's going to drop in. And they'll all pull on it, and they gathered a lot of speed there when flying wide, so they didn't get the direction.
Interestingly, Jerome, on the way in, I met the Maghera manager, Paul Hughes' wife, and she's actually decided not to come to the match, and she's gone down to the local church to pray for divine intervention.
Does she usually do that? She must have been following him for years.
Yes, exactly. That's part of her kind of routine. She can't stick the pressure, so she goes and prays. Well, you'd say with Maghera's record, it seems to have worked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe Paul instructs her. You know, you're not allowed to go to the game. You go and pray. Here we go. Tullamore on the attack, but an extra man back there, number 15, as you were alluding to earlier on. Sean, they have a sweeper back there themselves, even though they're playing in the wind. And Richie Mullen wearing number 15, but all the way back in his defence. And the other corner forward, Fintan Bradley, takes an effort at goal and puts it straight over the bar. So, you know, and that evidence the tactics are working for Maghera.
And I mean, an absolutely wonderful score from out the wing. He won his own ball, he beat his man and drove the ball over the bar.
And in the modern game, a corner forward to a corner forward, but in different ends of the pitch. That's just the way that it is these days, as the crowd begin to find their voice and they're telling us who they are. There's a lovely bit of play from Colaiste Choilm, and this could be dangerous. No, it went in from the number 8, Cathal O'Mara from the Clara club. Great catch and delivery, but Maghera dealt with it beautifully. There's another excellent catch. Lots of great catching today.
Oh yeah.
And we've got to admire that. And as you look when the ball goes in, there's 4 Colaiste Choilm men there to true from Maghera. And they all battle for it. And eventually, no, it's still being fought for. And that's the number 9 again. That's Emmett Curley trying to break away, but he gets stopped as well. And the referee just says, play away, lads, go on ahead. And eventually, it's a free to Colaiste Choilm.
You know,
like a Maghera guy gets hurt there.
Yeah, and what's interesting, Jerome, is that the man playing sweeper for Maghera, Richie Mullen, is their top scorer this year. I mean, it wouldn't appear on the surface to make any sense at all.
Corner forwards on paper, or at least on the match programme from Dungiven, Richie Mullen, top scorer. I presume that's just for the first half, but we'll see. That's the modern game.
Yeah, and not that there's only been 2 frees in the match, so Richie hasn't been called upon yet.
Kieran Burke from Colaiste Choilm playing the ball forwards, but it's even Stephen in there, and eventually that is Rory Rafferty, number 12, who wins a free, another Dungiven man.
And it looks like Richie Mullen's going to get his opportunity.
Do you think he put it over from there, Sean? Well, that's outside the 65, behind the 65.
Just behind his own 65. And
you think he'd put this over?
Well,
that'd be some effort.
It would be indeed. But I think he has the ability.
Okay, well, if he's top scorer, he knows where the posts are, so let's see what he's made of. And you can see the flags on the far side. The wind is indeed very strong. Here we go. Oh, he's got plenty of height on that. That's going to go the distance. Has he got the direction? Nope, just to the right. So, Sean, after 8-9 minutes, just coming up to the 9-minute mark, it's even Stephen, isn't it?
It really is. And I mean, just to talk about the wind there again, that ball actually left the ground and it's way outside the ground. So people could really score from their own 50-yard line. Yeah. And the wind, I really think it's going to be a huge factor in the game.
Maghera they've found their voice again in the crowd, and they're giving great support to their fellow pupils and the team here. Number 2 is Niall McNichol, trying to clear his lines but doesn't quite manage to do so. And is that Richie Mullen in there again, the sweeper, corner forward sweeper? Yep, he clears his lines. Oh, it's a lovely ball to Pádraig O'Kane from Dungiven, and Maghera working the ball out nicely. Dominic Bradley now is going to hit it from distance right the way into the forwards. Fintan Bradley's in there, as is Tiernan McHugh, but Colaiste Choilm just winning out by numbers, I guess. You know, they've more men in there and they're getting the breaks.
Yeah, and I mean, when I count the numbers, there were 6 defenders against 2 attackers.
So what's the way to beat that? I mean, should they just carry the ball forward a little bit further rather than trying to drop it in from distance?
Yeah, I mean, if you get a clear shot from out the field, you can score a point. No doubt about that with the wind. But I would be worried that Maghera would need really 7 or 8 points of a lead by half time. And at the moment, I would think that Tullamore are probably the more satisfied team.
Yeah, they're only 1 point down. It's 2 points to 1, and they'll definitely take that. So there's a long way to go in this first half. And Colaiste Choilm breaking now. Number 7 is Ross Ravenhill, and number 12 is Cathal Bradley as he found a post. Oh, just wide. So they're not getting many chances up this end, but they'll not be too worried, as you say, as long as they can keep the scores fairly level in the first half. Kieran Henry now, the goalkeeper, in the lovely lime green boots and the red helmet, and he's going to, let's see how far he can put this down. Oh, it's down into the sort of right half forward position, but it drops to a Tullamore man. Oh, no, Maghera get possession. I think that's number 12 gets a shot in, but it's gone wide. I think that was Rui Rafferty, but it doesn't matter. It's gone wide. So it's still 2 points to 1, and Maghera need to start clocking up a few scores, because we're now 11 and a half minutes into the game and they're only 1 point ahead, and that, there's no way that'll be enough, as Sean says. The ball breaks over the sideline and it's given to Tullamore.
Come on, Tullamore!
Number 11 goes on, number 9 goes on. I don't know, is he going to take it? It looks like number 9, Emmett Curley, is going to take it, and he is. No, he's left it to number 5, Jack O'Brien, from the Ballymere Durrow club.
And I see Maghera's manager, Paul Hughes, complaining to the referee about the length of time that this sideline puck is taken, and now the referee agrees with him and they're going to have the ball.
And that's a sign, I suppose, that Paul is anxious to get this game going. He wants to get it going while they've got the wind and while they can have a chance to get some scores. He doesn't want any delaying tactics.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's brilliant battling there by Martin Quinn. And it comes to his fellow midfielder, Paddy Quinn, and he launches it right into enemy territory, but it's just got too much on it, and the 2 Swatter lads in the middle of the field there, the 2 Quinn lads, managed to get the ball, but they're just putting it in rather aimlessly, and there's a yellow card for Emmett Curley. I'm not sure what happened there exactly. Sean, did you see?
I didn't see actually what happened.
Okay,
the other interesting thing, Jerome, is that Maghera are caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. You know, people are trying for long range points and their full forward line's left frustrated, so you know, they haven't really decided what they're going to do with the ball, whether they can play it in short or whether their accuracy from outside hasn't been great. That's about 5 wides that they've knocked up already.
And Tullamore take that quickly, but too quickly. The referee says, let's go back to the sideline. And there's a little bit of tension on the sideline between the 2 management camps here. We've had a little bit of action in this particular area the last few minutes. And number 11 is Brian Dignan. Oh, there's a whack off the ball, which the referee has let go, although I think he's consulting to find out what happened there. Now it comes to Emmett Curley out on the right, and that looks good. Oh, it comes off the post. That was a close one for Colaiste Choilm. They could have levelled there, or it could have dropped nicely for a goal chance, but as it is, it's been cleared, and Dominic Bradley, number 10 for Maghera, has now been fouled, and that will give them a chance to clear the danger. And from this sort of position, they'll be able to launch it in and around the square, but as you say, Sean, they'll just be outnumbered there, so maybe they should try and work their way in a little bit rather than just launching it. If you look now down to our left, I mean, there are 2 sweepers back in there, so they're going to be outnumbered, but the tendency is always just to launch it, and that's just exactly
Richie
what they're going
Mullen's
to do.
going for it again. and it's dropping
Is
right
it going
in.
to reach this time? It looks like it's got the distance, dropped just to the left. Yeah, just to the left. Those are all. These could come back to haunt him. These misses.
Absolutely, Jerome. Again, he had the opportunity to play it in short. The long range shooting doesn't seem to be on at the moment.
So, you know, Sean, you've managed Queen's hurlers in recent years. You've managed a lot of teams. Would you be thinking, look, let's put another man in there? You know, would you change tactics at this point?
Well, it seems to me that Maghera started off and said, what we have, we'll hold. But I think, Jerome, they have to be realistic. You know, they need to get scores in the first half. And games can be won and lost in the first half as much as in the second half. And they need to push people up.
And yet again, this is like feeding buns to the bear. You know, they're just putting it in there every time and it's coming straight back out again. Colaiste Choilm are saying thanks very much. And they have possession at the minute. Number 8 is Cathal O'Mara, and he puts it in there. It's 2 against 2.
And it's that man,
that corner forward,
again.
yeah. For a corner forward and top scorer, he's a great defender too. And the referee gives a free out. So Maghera have only conceded 1 point in 15 and a half minutes, which is impressive too. You've got to give them that, but that's not what the game's going to be won.
No, and I mean, Tullamore have recognised the impact the conditions are going to have, and as we've said, they're playing with 2 sweepers. I mean, Maghera have to grasp the nettle and go for it.
3 points have been scored in 16 minutes. Very low scoring for an All-Ireland Colleges hurling final. Richie Mullen goes a little bit shorter this time. He didn't give it the same height as he gave the previous ones, and it seems to have worked this time. Now Paddy Quinn, number 9, and he tries his luck from distance. That looks better.
Yes.
And it is, and that's possibly the best score of the game for St. Pat's Maghera. They now lead by 3 points to 1 after 16 and a half minutes.
Yeah, and fair play to Richie Mullen. He realised that there's other strikes had gone wide, so he's put the ball in short. Maghera won it, and a great score.
Cathal Bradley for the Tullamore lads over on the far side, but I think he's run out of room. And he has gone over the sideline, and it will be a Maghera ball. Colaiste Choilm, though, they know what they're doing. They have a plan, Sean, and they're sticking to it. And so far, as you say, they would be happy with it so far. They're only 2 points down, and they'll have the second half to come.
And I presume that in the second half, Maghera will employ the same tactics. So I don't think it's going to be a game of high scores, Jerome.
We have a break at the minute because there's an injury over the far side, and that. Let's just talk about Colaiste Choilm, because it's been a long road for them to the final. They defeated Naas CBS and Colaiste Murrah from Mullingar, and they had a long way to get here. In the semi-finals, they beat Portumna Community School with Brian Dagnan, number 11, holding his nerve with a stoppage time 65 to qualify for the final. And I wonder if we'll have that sort of a tight finish again today. It was low scoring as well. It was only 1-9 to 1-9 up to that. Sorry, Sean, you're pointing out something here.
It looks like Maghera are signalling for a substitution, and certainly the Maghera players coming across the pitch limping very badly.
Yeah, it looks like they're
Just
going
can't
to have
see
to make
who
a
he
switch.
is at the moment.
Yeah, he's the numbers are very small on the front, so we can't quite see that. And
our eyes are very bad, Jerome.
Well, that's old age. We're 18 minutes gone, and Maghera will be making a switch very quickly. They've sent a few guys to warm up, but they're way down at the far right, and now they've been told to get back here quickly. And we can't see their numbers either because they've got sweatshirts on, because it is cold here today, Sean. There's no doubt about that. It's a very cool day.
You know, Jerome, you're much more experienced than I am, and I see you have the gloves on. I'm absolutely foundered.
Well, I can tell you now, in terms of the numbers, that looks like 17 is coming on, and 17 is Michael McCormick, another from the Swatter Club. This Maghera College is coming from a lot of colleges, or a lot of schools in the area. Oh, it's number 2 who's coming off, Niall McNichol from Dungiven. Well spotted, yeah, number 2. So they haven't made the switch yet, although the play has continued. Now he's going on. So Michael McCormick from Swatter, and number 17, who's strangely enough, he's gone straight into the forward, Sean. He's not gone into the number 2 cornerback traditional position. He's gone straight into the forwards. I wonder if that'll be a change of tactic. He's gone straight in, right on one of the sweepers, right in the square, and he's given him a bit of a dunk, as if to say, hey, I'm here. And now the Tullamore number 6, I think, has given him a friendly pat back on the chest, and
knocked them down.
Well, Michael went down a little bit easy, let's be fair, let's be true.
But it's nearly, Jerome, as if Maghera have decided that they're going to have to move up, because that guy who's going right into the forward line is replacing their right back.
But it's a bit strange the way he went in. Did he get told, or did he just say, I'm going to do this? It didn't look like a tactic as such. He just sort of thought, I'm going in here. But anyway, number 15, Richie Mullen, is going to launch this. And we saw before, he definitely will have the distance here. So he's going to go for a point. He's got the height. He put the last one out of the ground. We don't care if he does that, if he has the accuracy, but he doesn't. He's put that wide again, and it remains 3 points to 1. What will be interesting now to see will be the number 17 stay in there, and he does. He's staying in at a right corner forward position. So he came on for a right corner back, and he's staying at right corner forward. And it's now more traditional in there. It's 3 against 3. So we'll see if that makes a change to the proceedings in the next few minutes. The ball is now in the Maghera defensive territory, and that is Rory Rafferty, who's back there trying to clear his lines, but he's going to need help. And now we have 7 or 8 lads in there trying to get the slither up, and it's going to be a Tullamore man, Mark Dillon, and he feeds Kevin McDermott. Kevin goes for a score. Will it have the distance? And that looked like it almost dropped into the net, but it drops just over the bar, and that's a fine point and very well received for Tullamore, and it brings it back to 3 points to 2 after almost 21 minutes.
It's a game, Jerome, where, you know, the pitch is in great order considering the winter that we've had, but it's still a bit humpy and bumpy, and there's a big gathering of players in the middle of the field, so every ball has to be fought for and won. Bit scrappy in West.
Yeah, I think that's the word to sum up the game so far, scrappy. We haven't had a lot of quality, but it's an All-Ireland final. There's a lot at stake. Teams are employing certain tactics, and that ball is launched by Patter McLaughlin. This will be interesting. In around the house. Oh, brilliantly taken, you have to say, by Colaiste Choilm. I think it was a full back, but I'll check in a second which number it was exactly, but he deserves credit for that. Superb defending. Colaiste Choilm working their way up the pitch, and they do look comfortable on the ball. They just can't make much headway when they get up this far, and again they have conceded possession and conceded free. And the referee now, I think, is calling someone towards him. It looks like Paddy Quinn, the number 9 for Maghera, and I think it was the number 3 there who defended brilliantly in his own square there for Colaiste Choilm. That was superb defending, Sean.
Yeah, absolutely. The most skillful moment in the game so far, Jerome. Took a fantastic catch under pressure.
Yeah, some of the forwards and some of the defenders have made excellent catches. It's been one of the features so far on both sides. Now here's Richie Mullen. This is definitely beyond his distance, I think, for getting a point, but this is going to drop dangerously. He goes for lots of height, but it's not going to go that close to the goals. That's down around the 21, and inevitably it is dropping to a Colaiste Choilm defender. And what a catch there by Brian Dagnan. He was falling and he still managed to catch the ball and still managed to keep possession and still managed to find a teammate. That again was a lovely bit of skills. And that looks slightly to the right there from Aaron Flanagan. That would have been an excellent point for them, but I think the wind maybe tailed it off to the right.
And I mean, Jerome, you have to say that Tullamore, only a point in it, with a very strong breeze they're playing against it. They'll be the happier team.
Okay, well, there again, you see that's been the pattern from the first half. They all go for it and it drops to a red jersey, and up they come again. Tullamore, number 15 is Mark Dillon, and Cathal Brady tries to find Mark again, but instead it's that man Richie, and he fires it as far as he can down into the defence, and it goes to a Tullamore man again. There's
and
a
again,
lot of
Jerome,
deja vu.
6 defenders to 2 forwards.
That has definitely been the story of the first half. We're now 23 and a half minutes in. Not even a sniff of goal for either side, and you would think Maghera, well, we were thinking at the start, you were saying at the start they need a lead, and we're talking 5 or 6 points, but there's no sign of them getting anywhere near that sort of a lead, and they've only got 5 or 6 minutes left to try and do something about that. They have, I think that's a free on the far side. The likes of Richie Mullen could probably put that over, given the distance, and he's got the win, but it's actually Patter McLaughlin who's taking it, and Tullamore have dealt with just about everything that's been thrown at them in this first half. And you would fear in the second half, I think he gave that for over carrying there, so that's bound to be a point for Maghera, you would think. A little bit harsh that, I think, maybe, Sean.
Yeah, it probably was. Referees today, and he's going to move the ball in again, I think, for talkback. So you wonder, Jerome, at this stage in the game, would Maghera dare have a crack at goal? It would be a huge bonus to them.
From the 21?
Yep.
Well, if they bring Richie Mullen up, I'd put money on it.
Richie Mullen's there now, whether he chooses to take the point or whether he goes for a goal.
I'd say his manager would be saying, pop it over.
But then fortune favours the brave. And
yeah.
with that wind.
Yeah, absolutely. There's an injury over on the far side. That's why we have a stoppage here, and the referee's now going over to see what the issue is. I have to say, Sean, there's a good crowd here today. They didn't really come in until the last 10 or 15 minutes before the game. I didn't think we were getting much of a crowd, but then the coaches started to arrive, and it's wonderful to see the support here. A lot of parents here, as you were saying earlier, and I think a few legends like Brian McGilligan, and that doesn't do any harm as well. And Tullamore have brought a good support as well. Now, as I'm talking about all that, I'm seeing down below we have another substitute here.
I think it's a blood injury. But Jerome, you're talking about the crowd didn't come into the end. I'm surprised at you. What's changed in the GAA?
Well, we started on time and they got in here on time. That's the important thing. But there's good access here in the club. Inniskeen Gratans are very, very good at getting everyone in and managing it. Now, let's see if Richie Mullen, is he going to go for a goal or a point here?
It looks like a point.
Yeah, the way he's positioned himself. Yeah, pop it over. Take the sensible option. The substitute there, Ryan Mulholland from Lavey, has come in, and Fintan Bradley, the corner forward, he scored one of the points earlier, and as you say, a blood sub, so he could come back on again in a couple of minutes. But in the meantime, it's now 4 points to 2 after 26 minutes. We have 4 minutes to go to half time, as the Tullamore goalkeeper Conor Brofel sends the ball into the middle of the pitch, and it's Maghera's Tiernan Walsh, number 6, who gets it. And this time Maghera win possession in there, and that is Richie Mullen, who has ventured into more traditional forward territory for a corner forward, but he's put it just to the left and wide, and it remains 4 points to 2. Now Brofel again, he's sort of almost reaching the first the halfway point with this, and that one is brilliantly caught by Martin Quinn. And has he gone for a score? You see, it's fallen between the two, as you said earlier, the devil and the deep blue sea. It's not going for a score, and it's not finding a forward either. So an awful lot of wasted possession from Maghera, and they've only got a few minutes in this half to try and get a few scores on the board, and that's very determined, strong play by Paddy Quinn from Swatra. But the Tullamore lads catch up with them, and that's a foul by number 11, Patrick McLaughlin. On number 10, Kevin McDermott. That's a free for Tullamore, Sean.
I was surprised at that foul. It was right in front of us, and the referee's indicating that it was a striking down action. As far as I could see, he reached in across the guy, Jerome. So I'm very surprised at that. But the commitment from both teams is outstanding.
Brian Dagnan tries to find his forwards. No intention of going for a score there. Too strong a wind there. Maghera have dealt with almost everything that's come up that way, and I know they haven't got enough on the board, but you know, they'll be satisfied. Their defence has only conceded 2 points in 28 minutes, and that's impressive. And that was number 12, Rory Rafferty. And now this is a dangerous one. The goalkeeper Brofel has spilled it. Now can Maghera capitalise? Patrick McLaughlin is calling for it. The referee has given, I think, a free in. And this should be another point. Yeah, that would be a straightforward chance for Maghera to put 3 points in it at half time, and we've only got a minute and a half to go of normal time in this first half.
A great run out of defence there, Jerome, by
I think it was Rafferty, wasn't it? Number 12, Dungiven man.
Rory Rafferty, and that set up that ball right into the square, which the keeper dropped, and now a free in for a foul.
The goalkeeper has done very well so far with a lot of those balls, but he just spilled that one, and that gives Richie Mullen the chance now to pop it over, which he should do. Yep. Yes. And the cheer goes up from St Patrick's Maghera supporters, and a little bit of singing as well, a bit of ooh-ha Maghera, as the Derry lads have increased their lead to 3 points. It's 4 points to 2, and we've just gone into the 30th minute. I don't think there'll be too much stoppage time, maybe a couple of minutes. We had a couple of stoppages, So Maghera will need to give it everything in the last couple of minutes of this half. And we now see the board going up for 3 minutes. There will be 3 extra minutes. So that's 3.5 minutes from now. We're 29.5 minutes in. 3.5 minutes left in this first half. And Tullamore have a free in the middle of the pitch. Maghera trying to get men back. And that, it almost dropped nicely for Colaiste Choilm, but instead we have about 5 or 6 men trying to find out where the ball is in there. And eventually it breaks, and a Maghera defender, I think it's their fullback, Liam McCann, clears his lines very nicely, and well fielded as well by the tall figure there of number 13, that's Fintan Bradley. But it comes to nothing. Nice bit of skill there by the number 5, Jack O'Brien. But again, it's all very congested in there. Emmett Curley tries to get a bit of room, but there's just no room in there. He gets a bit of help from Billy Fogarty, number 14. But possession, as so often in the first half, has changed hands very, very quickly. No team is dominated. That's a lovely bit of work by Tiernan McHugh. We know he can do that. And that is definitely the best score of the first half. That's what we've been waiting for. That's a little bit of quality from the man from Dungiven. And that is 31 minutes gone. 6 points to 2 for Maghera.
Sheer quality. He came out, he won the ball. He went one way, he turned the other way and drove the ball over the bar. Easily the best score of the game.
Now, Maghera have got their tails up. They've won a break in the middle of the field. And this is superb play by Rory Rafferty. He is playing a very well, very confident player, taking men on. We haven't seen much of that until the last few minutes of the half, but it's very welcome. And they're instead of launching the balls in, they're working it in a little bit, and that seems to be better for them. So we're deep into injury time now as Liam McCann sends the ball up to Dominic Bradley, and Dominic takes a go at goals from distance. I don't think that's going to... Oh, it is! It's gone over the bar. What a fabulous score by Dominic Bradley. And Maghera are finishing this half with a flurry of scores, and they are now leading by 7 points to 2 after almost 32 minutes.
Yeah, and I think, a great score, but what about the work done by Liam McCann at full back? He's been totally solid this first half.
And that lead that we were talking about all through the half has finally materialised now. There's now 5 points in it. There's also a break because there's an injury on the far side, and that it was one of the Tullamore lads, we can't see from here who is down, but it's another break, so this half will go on a little bit longer. But the last few minutes, what's made the difference, do you think, Sean, in the last few minutes for Maghera?
I think part of the reason is that they've simply pushed up. If you look now, Jerome, you'll find that there's every back is marked by a man from Maghera. And the puck out, there's no doubt that the ball's holding up in the wind. So somebody coming from the back is able to just wait their time, break the ball down and move forward.
It was almost since the substitute Ryan Mulholland came on that the game sort of changed a little bit, and Maghera went for it a bit more, so it's more man on man.
But Richie Mullen moving up there, has added another dimension as well.
Yeah, and Rory Rafferty, as I say, has come to life in the last few minutes as well. But that point by Tiernan McHugh, he's a cumbersome looking big lad. He didn't look to have the speed when he came out and met the ball, and he looked to be going to his right side, but he threw in a lovely shimmy and put it over beautifully from his left, and that's definitely been the highlight of the first half. We need to see more of that in the second half.
No doubt about that. And I mean, Tullamore will be that bit concerned now. The lead is stretched to 5 points, and it looks to me like every point's going to be hard won. Even because Maghera, the one thing about them, Jerome, they'll give you everything, and they will fight to the bitter end. And I say, with the kind of pitch here and the bouncy, the untrue bounce of the ball, the wind, team like Maghera come out fighting, anything's possible.
Conor Brofil from Na Fianna sends the ball back into play after that stoppage, and another great bit of fielding, you've got to say, and the referee penalises him maybe for over-carrying, and that was unfortunate after such a great bit of skill from Martin Quinn, but it is a free which will be taken by Brian Dagnan, the hero of the semi-final for Colaiste Choilm. I don't think he'll get it over from there, but certainly in the second half he'll be fancying his chances from this sort of distance. We're now into the 35th minute, so we're over stoppage time, so The referee will play on another minute or so because we had a stoppage in stoppage time, and Dignan launched it. Now hold on, is he going to defy me? Yeah, he's put that over the bar. That's a super score, and that will give them a little bit of heart. That's their first score in quite a long time. It's now 7 points to 3, so it looks like Colaiste Choilm will get the last score off the half. And the referee calling for the ball. It is indeed the last score, and that reduces the arrears to 4 points at the break. It is 7 points to 3. The big question, Sean McGorty, before we wrap up for half time, will it be enough?
Only time will tell, Jerome, but having been around Ulster colleges for nigh on 20 years, if nothing else, Maghera will give 100%, and they won't go down without a fight to the bitter end. So I think it's still all to play for, and it could be, Jerome, one mistake on either side could make the difference. I mean, Maghera's goalkeeper hasn't touched the ball this half other than to puck it out. He's probably foundered there, and you know, those kind of things can affect players. Not that we would want it to be that way, so it could be just up to fate. Who knows?
At half time, the score of St Patrick's Maghera 7 points, Colaiste Choilm Tullamore 3 points. The second half is underway. The referee, John Keane, has thrown the ball in, and in the first 10 seconds there's already another throw-in. 2 throw-ins in 10 seconds, and that's a free to Colaiste Choilm, and this is going to be an opportunity for a point right away. And judging by the last score of the first half, this will not be a problem for Brian Dignan, because he put one over against the wind, and you'd think this will be easy pickings for Brian at the start of the second half to reduce their arrears to just 3 points. And he certainly has the distance, and straight over the bar. Although I think the referee has said it's wide. Did he? You see that, Sean? It looked like he gave a wide there. It looked to me straight over.
I thought it was actually a point, Jerome.
Yeah, so did I.
Who are we to say?
Yeah, well, the umpire said no, and the referees agreed, and no intervention this time from the linesman.
And I see, interestingly, Jerome, Tullamore are playing with the sweeper as well. What has Hurling come to?
Yeah. That's the way it is, even at schools level. Now, Sean, maybe at every level, that's the way the game is. And that's great play by Liam McCann, the Maghera full-back, battling and getting it up the field. As you said, Maghera will battle all the way. That's one thing you can definitely be sure of. And they do indeed have one sweeper in there, Maghera, and that's the same as the first half. That's Richie Mullen. And we have another sweeper at the other end as I look to my right. I know you're watching the play, but as Maghera try to come away with it and they win a free. But let me tell you that down on the right-hand side here, Sean, there are 2 Colaiste Choilm sweepers at the minute. Maybe that's a little bit deceiving, but it looks to me they've definitely got 2 extra men in their own half as Maghera have a free deep in their own territory. So it's not going to reach anywhere near there, but certainly maybe that's an intention of what their tactics are as well. Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see what Colm Cassidy, the manager from Tullamore, has decided to do. He's a former All-Ireland senior championship winner, so he knows the game inside out, and it'll be very interesting to see what they come up with in terms of tactics.
Sean, going by what you were alluding to a minute ago, you're a little bit disappointed that the hurling these days isn't more all-out go for it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'll just break, sorry, for a second there, because Billy Fogarty looks like he's going to pop over a point, and he does.
Sure does, yeah.
And this looks ominous for Maghera, because Colaiste Choilm have scored 2 points in the first 2 minutes and 40 seconds of the second half. No, 1 point, sorry, they didn't get the previous one, so it's down to 3, but they're certainly piling on the pressure, and it looks like that's going to be the pattern of this second half. I'll come back to that point with you in a minute, Sean, but the ball is back in the play for now, and a free has been awarded for a foul on number 10, Kevin McDermott, and that's going to be easy again for Mr. Dignan, I would imagine. So, Sean, yeah, what do you think of these sort of tactics, not just in schools, but in all through the game of hurling?
Yeah, and well, I would be an advocate of Kilkenny. Brian Cody puts 15 players out to play against 15, and you know, I'm disappointed that that trend that you're talking about has actually come down into schools, because as you know yourself, when you watch school matches, when people play with abandon, it's so much more exciting. And for me, I've grown up with that, and it's something I think should stay.
It's interesting the way you say, oh, there's another wide. I was putting my money on Mr. Dagenham putting that over, and he's popped it wide again. So we're still 3 points in it. It sounds like, from what you're saying, the game does come down into the schools. That sort of pattern doesn't start in the schools.
No.
It comes down into, I've seen the same in the football as well, and it is disappointing. So when the teams are playing a very defensive way at county level and club level, the schools end up replicating that, which is unfortunate, you know. There's a real battle in the middle of the field there, and no quarter given, no quarter asked is the cliche, but on that occasion there was a foul given, because number 17, the substitute Michael McCormick, who came on in the first half and made a bit of an impact, was a little bit exuberant there, and the referees had a word with him and said, you know, calm down a bit, you can't do that. And I think he might even be going to show him a card. Yeah, he's taken his name as well. His name is Michael McCormick. He's from the Swatter Club. He's number 17. He came on as a substitute, and he now has a yellow card to his name. And Brian Dagenham, is lining this up, and he's just slightly inside the Maghera half, and he's going to have the distance. It's just a question of whether it's going to go over the black spot. The umpires look at each other and they give it. And that now is 5 points for Colaiste Choilm Tullamore. Just 2 in it, 5 minutes into the second half, so they are eating into that Maghera lead as Kieran Hendry sends the ball into the middle of the park once again. And all the breaks seem to be going for Colaiste Choilm Kill. They seem to be sharpest when the ball is broken in the middle of the field, but we usually end up with a bit of a scrum like this, and then it pops out to number 12, Cathal Brady. And it just seems like the ball is magnetically being attracted to the Colaiste Choilm boys, and they look a little bit more dangerous. So at the minute, I'd say the money is on them for turning around this deficit, but Maghera have just come up with a beautiful piece of play. It's gone to Padder McLaughlin, the Kilray man. He fielded it and sent it in to the full forward, and we know what Tiernan McHugh can do, but he's just surrounded. He's outnumbered in there, and Colaiste Choilm kicked the ball into the halfway area and out of play. So that's a little bit of encouraging for Maghera. They will fight to the bitter end there. And the referee telling everyone, come back, give a bit of room there, calm down. Long way to go yet, and let's get this game of hurling really underway. And the supporters from Maghera trying to lift their team as well. They're going to need that in the second half, you feel. Now again, 6-7 players go for it, but a Maghera boot puts it out of play. It was a boot of Paddy Quinn. Colaiste Choilm, Ross Ravenhill's going to take this from the Ballynamere Duro Club. He removes the flag and sends it well down the pitch. That's a lovely strike. It's picked up by Pádraig O'Kane, and he wins the free. The Dungiven man doing exactly what Maghera need him and the rest of the defenders to do: relieve the pressure, win a bit of ball, win a bit of time, and give them a chance to put the ball into the right end of the pitch from their point of view. And it's Richie Mullen, the Dungiven man, and he will try and hit this. The trajectory will be a bit lower than usual, and he does well. I think that's Tiernan McHugh he's looked for, and big Tiernan is trying to gather it. He doesn't manage it. It's beautifully taken by Emmett Curley though, a lovely twirl from him, and Colaiste Choilm showing lovely skill now as they try to get up the pitch, but there isn't a second really out there. Maghera are right on them all the time. You have to say this is a great tussle, two evenly matched teams, and they are all going for it. There's no doubt about that. There's an All-Ireland on the line here, and although the quality is lacking at times, it's certainly competitive, and it's certainly a very interesting tussle between, as I say, two well-matched teams. And the ball's thrown in again, and big Paddy Quinn's in there in number 9. The other Quinn is in there, Martin Quinn. His men flying in there, and the ball pops out and it goes to Pádraig O'Kane, but when you don't pick it up first time, you don't get a second chance. And that's Aaron Flanagan now for Colaiste Choilm Tullamore, the number 13. But again, the play just switches hands, switches sides all the time. And Maghera will be happy once again to get a free.
Yeah, Jerome, the game is very, very scrappy. Total commitment, but 7 or 8 people in a bunch looking for the ball every time.
And that's Mullen. Oh, what a catch. That's beautiful play. I mean, I don't mean to say there's not quality here, because there certainly is. We've seen it there. And we've seen it at times throughout the game. There's been lovely glimpses of skill. And one of the best skills we've seen today has been the catching. And that was shown once again there. And there's a man down. I think it was an accidental collision there. So there'll be no cards here, but there is a man down for Tullamore. And we're now 9 minutes into the second half. So it's an intriguing situation here, Sean. St Patrick's Maghera 2 points up, 7-5. And after the bright start Tullamore made to this second half, it's levelled out again.
Yeah, St Patrick's have consolidated and their commitment is outstanding. The one worry I would have, Jerome, is that they've given away quite a number of stupid frees, because really today there's been very few scores from open play, so they really want to be very disciplined.
The South Derry School are drawn mainly from the sort of Derry hurling heartland, Swatrod and Given, Slough-Neil, Lavey, Banagher, but there's a couple of Antrim lads in there as well. I think there's a Kilray lad in there. Whereas Tullamore, well, there's Tullamore of course, there's Nafena, there's Ballinamere, Durrow, there's Clara. Those are the main clubs involved as they line up to take this free. And it's number 11, Brian Dagnan, and he goes for almost as much height as distance, but just drop it in there and see what happens and see how Maghera deal with it. And it's gone to a Tullamore man and he's flicked it over. Nice point. I think it was 15, Mark Dillon, who has claimed that score, and that's now 7 points to 6, is it? After 40 minutes, 1 point in it, and the ball back into play right away. And that's Dagnan again. Lovely little transfer to Emmett Curley, but well blocked there by Porrig O'Kane from Dungiven. And he clears up the pitch. And if Maghera are going to win this game, they certainly need to get a bit further, and they certainly need to going to get a score or two in this second half. They haven't scored in this second half yet, and it's 11 minutes in. They're going to need to get at least a couple of scores, and they might have a chance now because Richie Mullen has got a free. Now, I don't think he'll score from there, but he'll certainly be able to drop it in and around, and if they can poach 1 or 2 scores, they would be massive in this half.
Yeah, Jerome, they need to take every opportunity that comes their way, and this is certainly a possibility for Richie Mullen.
Do you think he'd pop it over from there?
I think he's got the distance.
He does, and I think he's got the direction as well. That looks straight over because we're right behind it. That's a brilliant point.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was miles over the bar. There's a controversy here now. Again, that was miles over the bar, straight over.
Surely the controversy is not about whether it went over or not, because, as I say, now we're fortunate enough on this occasion to be right behind it, but that was nowhere near wide.
No, that was straight between the posts, and I think, again, the linesman is going to intervene and tell that referee that.
Maghera manager Paul Hughes is down here, and he's definitely, no, he had his arms out, but they were an exasperation, not for indicating a wide.
No, absolutely not.
I wouldn't like to be that linesman near Paul Hughes if he gives this a wide, because Paul will let him know. He certainly wouldn't be happy with that. And if they wanted a television replay, we could certainly play it here, but I hope he gets. No, he's giving it wide.
That is a scandalous decision.
That's terrible. And the ref, Paul Hughes is now putting 2 fingers up to say that's twice. That's 2 points that we have lost in this game. And I don't know about the one in the first half. I really can't comment on it, but that one was definitely over the bar. That's a bit of a shocker, unfortunately, and a bit of a disappointing one from a Maghera point of view, and even from the game's point of view, because it certainly was a well-taken score, and one that Maghera needed to keep this game in the melting pot. They are 1 up, but as I was saying, they really need scores in this half. They're going to be hard to come by. And Colaiste Choilm might even level it here. No, they've gone wide as well. No question about that one. But they have the wind that you've just joined us in this second half. They have a very strong wind. They're 1 point down. They have 17 minutes to go, and you would bet on them closing that gap and taking the lead. But Maghera are not going to listen to that sort of talk. Porrig O'Kane is epitomising the spirit in the school from South Derry, because he is taking the game to Colaiste Choilm, There's another injury down below. I think we're going to have a little bit of a stoppage again. There's a Maghera man down. Maybe it's just a flailing hurl is connected with him. As happens. But hopefully things won't boil over here, because so far, Sean, you'd have to say the game's been played in a great spirit. The boys have got on with the game, and although that was disappointing to see a score ruled out that was clearly a point, you know, the boys are trying their very best out there on both sides, and of course the officials are as well. Everybody makes a mistake now and again.
Oh, absolutely, Jerome, but it's sad for whichever team it happens to that a perfectly good score in an All-Ireland final is ruled out. Doesn't matter which team we're looking at. Young fella knocks the ball over the bar, and you know, a very positive feature for him, and then to have the score disregarded.
I'm very surprised though that the linesman gave it, because he had the same angle as us. He was right behind it. Now he's not up as high as us. But
I was convinced when he was going to intervene that he was going to say it was over the bar, because from where we were, it was clearly a point.
Wasn't even close. Wasn't even close. Now, number 8, Martin Quinn, has got to his feet. He's hobbling, but again, he is epitomising the spirit in Maghera as well. He is wanting to get straight in there. And Patter McLaughlin got the strike on that ball when it was put in. And certainly, the whole Maghera team are showing great fighting abilities. Or great, oh well, maybe that's a little bit too much of a fighting ability. He's certainly going to see a card for that. That was too much. He went in far too strong there, and that was a dangerous challenge there, which has left, I think, Ross Ravenhill the worse for wear. And we don't want to see that sort of challenge.
You know,
but things are spilling over. I think it was actually Tiernan McHugh who made that challenge a big full forward, but they need to control themselves.
Yeah, you do, Jerome. And I mean, the Tullamore guy was bottled up. He was going nowhere. And then what's happened is now they've got a free straight down the field.
Yeah, so it's okay having passion, but you need to control it. There's no point costing your team. I'm thinking he's going to give him a yellow card here. Maybe no worse than that, but yeah, he's giving him a yellow card. So it's a yellow card for Tiernan McHugh, the big full forward from Dungiven. And Ross Ravenhill looks okay. He's got to his feet. No, it's not Ross Ravenhill, it's actually Emmett Curley. He puts his helmet back on, and the full-back for Colaiste Choilm, Kieran Burke, is lining up to take this one. A little bit out of reach for Brian Dagnan. So Kieran is going to take this. He's going to pop it in there after 46 minutes. They still trail. 1 point in it. So it's beautifully balanced going into the last quarter. And the ball is popping around there, and nobody able to get it into their hands until Dagnan managed to get it up, loses it. No one can hold on to it. It's like the ball is hot. Nobody can hold on to it for more than a second. Dagnan now has a little bit of room. He's capable if he gets a bit of space. He does get a bit of space, but he didn't get a good connection on that, and it's gone wide. And Maghera still leads, Sean, almost 47 minutes into the game by 1 point.
Yes, but what worries me at the moment, Jerome, is they've lost their shape a little bit.
Well, you say that, but Richie Mullen has now found a lovely bit of room and got it straight from the puck out and fired it into the full forward area, and it's dropped to Dominic Bradley, and he is going through, and he has been fouled. And that's very positive play for Maghera. They get all the way up the pitch to relieve the pressure, and they've got a free, and this could be their first score of the second half. Now Dominic looks to be in quite a bit of pain there, and hopefully he'll be able to continue, but he's done his bit for his team, and he has won a free, and a yellow card has been shown for the tackle on Dominic, and Ross Ravenhill is the player who has been penalised. Now Maghera won't be counting the yellow cards, but they certainly will see this as a brilliant opportunity to get their first point of the second half. They have not scored in the second half. They're playing into the wind. They won't mind that too much. They're 1 point up, but this would be a great opportunity to go 2 points up, their first score. Now we know they already put one over the bar that was cancelled out. They definitely put this one over, and it's definitely been given. It's 8 points to 6 for St Patrick's Maghera in this Masita GAA All-Ireland B final after 48 minutes. Maghera, the supporters sense it. They know they're close. They're close to glory, and they know that their team are performing heroically here. Certainly I thought that Colaiste Choilm would dominate this second half, but Maghera are having absolutely none of it. Never mind the conditions. And Tiernan McHugh, the man who was booked a minute ago, has been blocked down. But Paul Hughes, the manager of Maghera, will be very happy to see the game played in this half of the pitch. But as I say that, Cathal Brady has just switched the ball from their half to the other half. And there is a chance now. Oh, what a lovely hook. Lovely hook there by Richie Mullen. And Richie, in the end, that has ended in a free for Maghera. And again, at a point where we thought Colaiste Choilm were going to get a score, they have turned it over. And that man, Richie Mullen, at this point, Sean, he's heading for a Man of the Match award, in my opinion.
But equally so, Podrigo Kane at right half back has been outstanding, as is Liam McCann in full back. He has been really, really solid the whole game. And here's another man.
Brilliant block there by Sean Beattie from the Nafana club. He got in there. And Tullamore know that going into the last 10 minutes, or almost into the last 10 minutes now, that the pressure is on and this is the time to deliver. Patrick McLaughlin finds Tiernan McHugh, and Tiernan turns. I think he took the wrong option there. He was maybe going for goal and he saw a man and thought he might be able to reach him, didn't. And maybe he'd have been better taking a point there, Sean.
Absolutely. I mean, there was a free and easy point on. He panicked a little bit, I think, and a hand pass that was speculative and high and cleared up by the defence. And every point, Jerome, at this stage is vital.
Exactly, and there's 2 points in it. 8 points to 6 with 10 minutes to go, and there's a chance now for Brian Dignan to put this over. It is right on the halfway, but he is more than capable of putting this over. You can see the flags just above him. Well, I can anyway, and they are fluttering in the right direction for him. He uses that wind. Has he got it straight between the posts? The umpires reach for the white flag, and we're back to a 1 point game. Almost 51 minutes played, and Tullamore are back to within 1 point of Maghera.
And it looks like the Maghera half forward line are the people to win this game for them. They need to get on the ball and run at Tullamore.
Right, who wants it most? We have 10 minutes to go, lads. And number 8, Cathal O'Mara, says, I'll have it. And he wins a free. He's not happy, but he has got his free. He throws his ball down, he throws his slither down, and he's been hurt. That's why he's annoyed. So he obviously got a bit of a bang. He wants more than just the free, although the free might be enough to bring the scores level. And at this point, Sean, could I ask you, we mentioned a few of the Maghera lads who've done well as the referee consults with his linesman here. Who's played well today for the lads from Tullamore? Who stood out for you?
Well, for me, basically, their centre back, Dermot Egan, has been very, very solid there. Really, their forward line hasn't sparkled that much, Jerome. In truth, it's been their backs. I suppose the backs on both teams have really been the dominant forces.
Well, when you look at the score, 8 points to 7 with 15 points, no goals, then that tells its tale as well. But
it does.
Tactically, though, it's been a game set up for defenders because they've had extra men in there. But you're right, apart from a few glimpses here and there, the defences have been on top.
Yeah, Emmett Curley, another guy in the middle of the field. You would talk about a workmanlike performance from both teams. Nothing special, given the conditions.
Brian Dignan now has a chance to level it after 52 minutes. This would really set up a grandstand finish. We are right behind this. We'll see exactly where that goes. It looks straight.
Going left.
And it's popping. No, it's gone left. It's gone left and it's gone wide. Brian Dignan has missed that chance to level it. Maghera are holding on to this lead for dear life.
But with the decisions that have been made by umpires, anything is possible, Jerome.
Now let's not be too hard on the officials. It's a tough old job too. And as I say, everybody makes mistakes. And we're back in the play here. I don't think Tullamore have used any substitutes. They're sticking with the team they have out there, and that's Luke Egan, number 2, who's getting stuck in there. And this is a chance now. Kevin McDermott has given it to Cathal O'Meara, the midfielder. The hands go up from the Tullamore support right in front of us. They know that has gone over the black spot, and that is the equaliser. We're level here in Inniskeen after 53 minutes, 8 points apiece.
And that's the first time the teams have been on even terms.
It's as competitive up here in the stand between the two sets of supporters. There's a great atmosphere here. The Saints are marching in. According to the Maghera supporters, the Saints will be going marching in, but at the minute they will need to get a bit further up the pitch. They've only scored 1 point in this half. The scores are level. There's another break. The referee is coming over. There's a man down. And everybody is getting a little bit excited on the sideline, as you would be in an All-Ireland final.
And why wouldn't they be? And the interesting thing here is that it's going to take one piece of genius or one piece of stupidity, Jerome, to decide this game. And Maghera, you know, I would be disappointed they've given away so many frees.
But it's all about just getting over the line at this point.
Yes, absolutely.
That's all it's about. No one will care if they win about all of those things, or tactics or weather or anything. It's just getting over that line in the next 6 minutes. Who is it going to be? Maghera grab possession, and that's Rory Rafferty. He wins a free, and that will do nicely for the lads from Derry.
You know, Rafferty, McLaughlin and Bradley have been very strong.
The whole half forward line, yeah. And number 15, Richie Mullen, is lining up to take this. And I was going to say he mightn't get this, but he did the last time with the one that wasn't given. He is capable of it. The linesman is standing right beside him, but I think that's gone to the right. Or is it? No, it's dropping in. And there is no question. It was very interesting, Sean. The umpire was almost a yard away from him. He wasn't going to miss it that time. No, Richie Mullen didn't miss it either. No. Maghera back in the lead.
No, fantastic pressure score, Jerome. Fantastic. There's that boy again at wing half back.
Pádraig O'Kane. Yeah, he's a contender for man of the match, as is Richie.
So. Very much so. He's been excellent.
But I have to say, Sean, my man Richie Mullen might have swung it with that point if that point wins it. 4.5 minutes to go now. Maghera back in front. They have shown immense character. These young lads from South Derry have done great credit so far to their school and to their clubs and to their families. And Richie Mullen again swings and fires the ball into the forwards. And Tiernan McHugh comes out to meet it. The big fella is looking for a little bit of room and shows a lovely skill as well. Lays it off to the substitute, Michael McCormick. Maghera playing very, very sensibly here. And Fintan Bradley has had a pop at goal. Is he going to put it wide? It mightn't even drop out. It hasn't even gone. Yes, it has gone out. It's gone out of play. But Maghera will be happy to see the ball up that end of the pitch. We're now 4 minutes left. 4 minutes from glory from Maghera. Or can Tullamore turn this around? That puck out has gone straight to the number 8, Cathal O'Meara, and he has turned and fired it straight towards goal. And that was too straightforward, too simple, because he's put it to the left.
And Jerome, dare I say it, that if it's a draw, it's extra time, and if it's a draw at the end of extra time, it's further extra time, and the end of 65s.
So we'll be here all day.
And all night.
We'll take this. We'll take this. It's great entertainment, great stuff, and I hope everyone else is enjoying it as well. It's on an absolute knife edge, to use a cliche. You couldn't say who's going to win this. Jack O'Brien grabs possession, feeds Ross Ravenhill, and he sends it up the pitch. There's more Maghera men in there than Tullamore men, and it looks like, well, we can't tell who's got the ball at the minute. And there's a little bit of space. And has Duignan levelled it? Yes, Duignan has swiveled and sent it over the bar and levelled the scores once more for Tullamore. 57 minutes gone, and he is the man for the big occasion. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. He scored the winner from a 65 in the semi-final, and he's now levelled it with less than 3 minutes left here in Inniskeen. Now it's dropped to Paddy Quinn, the Maghera midfielder, and he's been fouled. He has been fouled. The ball dropped kindly to him in the middle of the field. He took it and he got a free, and Richie Mullen is on his way over. We know that he can put them over from this sort of distance. He's done it from a more awkward angle and even from a bit further out. So will he be able to hold his nerve and put this over? The linesman is making no mistakes. He's on the pitch behind him.
Yeah, I think he's actually standing behind him to make sure he can help.
Well, we don't want to see any more mistakes. We definitely don't want to see that. So, and you know, Maghera will be furious if they lose by a point. But we'll talk about that later. Here's Richie. He goes for a lower strike this time.
It's
and
going
he's
straight over the bar.
It's over the bar. We've a minute and a half left of normal time, and Richie Mullen has put St Patrick's Maghera into the lead once again, 10 points to 9. We have 4 minutes of stoppage time to come, so that's a total of 5.5 minutes. And Rory Rafferty, another contender for player of the match, has carried the ball forward. And this really is the time for lads to step up if they want to win in All-Ireland. Now is the time to win it. Martin Quinn is in there, the midfielder. I think he's injured. That's maybe why he's in there. But Tiernan McHugh's got a bit of space. The big man shows a bit of speed and tries his best, but doesn't quite manage to get a strike away. And Martin McQuinn, the midfielder, is in a lot of bother in there. Maghera are holding on here. They are battling against injuries, battling against the wind, battling against a very good opposition from Tullamore. They are giving everything. The ball is landed nicely and kindly, and this looks like a great chance for Mark Dillon for Tullamore to level it. He turns, he strikes without looking at the post, but he puts it to the right, and that's as good as a score for Maghera. The Tullamore managers down below us put their hands on their head, but they're still trying. There's plenty of time. We still even aren't even into injury time. It's 10 seconds to go to that, and then we've 4 minutes as Maghera line up another substitute, Ryan Mulholland. We saw him earlier, and he looks like he's going to come in now. There's a great catch by Cathal O'Mara in the middle of the field, but he's penalised. He's penalised. The referee saw an infringement, and it's a free to Maghera. We are now in the 61st minute.
Could Richie Mullen possibly from the halfway put this over the bar?
And you're not getting any of my money to put on that, I'm afraid. Even though he's worked miracles so far, that's a bit too far.
It would make him man of the match if he could do it, Jerome. And the tension is absolutely palpable.
1 point up, 10 points to 9. This from Richie Mullen. And the referee says, wait a moment, we have a substitute. Conor Doran is coming into the play. And there's a Maghera substitute as well. And indeed, big Martin Quinn has come off. He's given everything, even on one leg. And Paul Hughes gives him a big hug and says, thanks, big man. We'll try and see out the last 3 minutes or so, and we'll try and get over the line. Richie sends it high. He gives it an almighty strike. He threw everything at that, and it's gone over the bar. What a score by Richie Mullen.
Fantastic, Jerome. But my only fear is it's a 2-point lead.
Maghera are 2 points up in the 62nd minute. We have about 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. They lead. They have one hand on the Paddy Buggy Cup thanks to that man Richie Mullen. But here come Tullamore. Cathal O'Mara, he's going to go for goal. He strikes for goal. Oh, and
Jerome.
It's deflected just to
Great
the left.
save round the post for a 65.
Was it the goalkeeper?
Goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper.
Fantastic save because the ball bobbled and then died.
That was so crucial at this point in the game. Because you were saying it's a 2-point game, and teams then tend to go for goal. So Tullamore now going for goal. They know that's what's going to win it. The time is now exactly 62 minutes gone. 2 minutes left. So Brian Dignan has this to reduce it to 1. The Maghera fans give a little bit of jeering.
And he's got it, Jerome.
Is not affected by that at all. He puts it over. It's 11 points to 10. We have 1 minute and 45 seconds left. Can Maghera hold on? Can Colaiste Choilm turn this around in the last few seconds of stoppage time? Tremendous atmosphere here. Tremendous advert for the Masita GAA post-primary schools games. And the ball has popped nicely towards Maghera. No. It's now Tullamore in possession. There's another man down. Jack O'Brien comes forward with a brilliant run. That's superb skill and determined play by him. And the ball is played into the middle. And Fergal Okashiji, the captain of Maghera, went for that, number 7, but didn't get it cleared. Now what's the referee going to give in here? There's a Maghera man down calling for it. The referee will maybe throw the ball in. Somebody has thrown a stick away. I don't know if he threw his own stick away. but it's all very, very tense out there, and the referee's going to throw it in. 63 minutes and 12 seconds. We have 45 seconds now left exactly. It's like a rugby scrum in there. We can't see who has the ball or what's happening exactly, but this is a crucial period. Maghera won't mind too much, but all it needs is the Colaiste Choilm man to get a little bit of space and flick it over, and that might just happen now. But no, I think the referee was reaching for his whistle, changed his mind. Can they find a bit of space? Cathal Bradley looking for space. Ross Ravenhill looking for space, and he's got a free. He's got a free.
Oh, very controversial
10
decision,
seconds
Jerome.
to go. 10 seconds to go. Why do you say controversial, Sean? Do you think that wasn't a free?
Well, I couldn't see the foul was actually for what happened just prior to where the player received the ball, and I couldn't see any foul whatsoever.
Well, a free
I suppose
has
when
been
people
given.
look at it, they can make their own judgment.
Well, it's been given. That's the important thing at this point. And we're now 64 minutes and 20 seconds almost in, and he's going to put this over.
What did I say about extra time,
Yeah,
Jerome?
you were right. You were right. There it goes.
There it goes.
We're level once again, and surely that's
And
it.
he's
The referee
blowing full time.
blows the final whistle, and it is 11 points each. Supporters on both sides are on their feet. They're cheering. There's also a little bit of annoyance as well. You have to say that as well, but they're applauding the teams as the teams go in after a magnificent effort in the second half. And I'm not sure, Sean, about Maghera at this point. There's a few men down. They've shown great heart to stick out. You wonder, will they have the energy for the second half? They look like a team who, well, it was snatched away from them at the last minute. They're going to have to go in and regroup, and we will regroup and come back with extra time. The supporters are giving Maghera a great cheer, but we're back exactly where we started. Scores are level. The manager, Paul Hughes, is having a word with the referee. We will be back with extra time. So here we go with extra time. The referee has taken another toss, and Tullamore will play from right to left with the wind, as they did in the second half of normal time. And the referee, John Keane from Galway, is just sorting everything out and making sure we're okay to go. And we are. We're off again. 11 points all, extra time in the Masita GAA All-Ireland B hurling final for the Paddy Buggy Cup. Now we'll see who has got the most energy. And number 12 there, Cathal Brady, walked in, ran into a Maghera wall, and he's come off worst, and he's also down injured, and a free to Maghera. And I have to say, Paddy Buggy certainly would be proud of this game. Sean McGordy is with me here on co-commentary, and Paddy Buggy, as you would know, a former president of the GAA, a Kilkenny man. He won an All-Ireland senior medal with Kilkenny in 1954. He was president of the GAA in the 80s, actually presided over the centenary celebrations. Passed away a few years ago, and this cup has been named after him for the last 3 or 4 times. And he would certainly be impressed, I think, Sean, by the effort and commitment and the desire, and indeed the skill by these lads today.
Yeah, absolutely, Jerome. And, you know, the winning of this game may well be in the strength and depth of a squad. When you're taking off midfielders and having to bring other players on, the depth of your squad will tell the tale.
Yeah, Maghera had to bring off one of their midfielders, Martin Quinn, who was injured. Tullamore saved their substitutes until late in the game, but that could mean maybe they didn't think their bench was as strong. We don't know, but we'll see in the next 20 minutes or so. Certainly plenty of desire from Richie Mullen there to try and win that ball for Maghera. They're not giving up. Cathal Brady, number 12, gets involved in the action, but again, there's a swarm around him. Oh, that's a lovely little transfer there to Ross Ravenhill, coming off the shoulder and winning a free. And you would think that Brian Dignan will put this over and put Tullamore into the lead for what would be the first time, I think, Sean, in the entire afternoon.
That's right. They've been level once.
Twice
level. Yes.
And but they'd never been ahead.
No,
so
they've never
this
ahead
is
of the game.
Tullamore's chance to finally take the lead. 2 minutes into extra time, and that's exactly what the man from Ballinamuir Durrow has done. Colaiste Choilm are in front for the first time in the 3rd minute of extra time. Maghera are being boosted by their supporters who are in fine song down below us. Sounds like a Christmas carol, but whatever they're singing, it'll be lifting their team from their point of view. They'll be hoping so anyway, because they need a little bit of a lift here. They're playing against the wind and against a very good Colaiste Choilm team, and they're behind for the first time. So we'll see what they're made of now. That was Richie Mullen gone up for it, but it's broken to Tullamore. Now Paddy Quinn, number 9, picks up loose possession, fires it forward. Yeah, he has found Michael McCormick, but no one really able to hold on to the ball for too long today, or one side even to hold on to it too long. Mullen sends it into the Tullamore defence, but Luke Egan gathers, finds a bit of space, takes his time, and is looking for Dignan, and Dignan hits it very, very quickly and gets plenty of height but no direction. A little bit hasty with that effort, and we now see a substitute coming on. That could be a popular thing in the extra time here. Number 17, Barry Cleary, has gone on, yet another from the Ballinamuir Durrow club rather, and he has come on and he's gone straight into defence to mark the other 17. And the substitute has gone on for Cathal Brady. Okay, the slither is back in play, and immediately a free is given to Tullamore over on the far side from here.
You know, that's another needless free given away, Jerome.
12 points to 11 for Colaiste Choilm. Formerly Tullamore CBS. They have never won this cup before. This would be a magnificent achievement for the school from County Offaly. As I was alluding to earlier, the last 3 years the cup has gone to schools in Munster, so it's going to be either Ulster or Leinster this time. Now there's a little bit of a delay here. The referee is speaking to one of the Maghera players. He seems well back from it. He's telling me he wants him even further back. Dignan takes his time, swoops, strikes, plenty of height.
It's over the bar, Jerome.
You think so? Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. 2-point lead now for Tullamore as Maghera prepare to send on another substitute, and this time it is Cahir McGilligan from Banagher. And Cahir goes straight into the forwards, and it's not immediately obvious who is going off, because he went towards another substitute, Michael McCormick. He's not coming back off. He's staying on. And the man coming off is actually number 18, Ryan Mulholland from Ladding. So, 2 points in it in the 6th minute of extra time. Maghera yet to score in extra time. The ball drops to Conor Doran, one of the Tullamore substitutes. And as this happens so often, the ball is in and around there somewhere. A lot of bodies, and eventually comes out to number 17, Barry Cleary, and the strike was by Ross Ravenhill, but it wasn't a clean strike.
Really well taken, Jerome, there.
Yeah, well taken in the Maghera defence, and kicked forward to Quinn, but he's outnumbered and outmuscled there. And you would have thought there was a score on there, but instead they're trying to play it in, and Liam McCann spotted that, the fullback. He got a stick to it. It looked like a foul there, and the referee says play on, get on with it. And it's that word scrappy that Sean used earlier applies yet again, but you're going to get that. There's a lot of tired limbs out there, and there's a lot at stake, and it's 13 points to 11, 7 minutes into extra time. The game's still in the melting pot, and players are really feeling it at this stage. You can see that number 12 for Maghera, Dominic Bradley, is down, gathers himself, and you really feel, as so often in this sort of situation, it's all going to come down to the last period of extra time. So really Maghera don't want to concede any more scores, and Colaiste Choilm will want to try and put a free over. They've got a free and take it to 3, which would be a big lead to go into the last 10 minutes of extra time, and Maghera might find themselves chasing the game and chasing a goal. But for now, it's Dignan with the green helmet. He's been fairly accurate for most of the day. Missed a few. There's another yellow card for Maghera.
Richie Mullen, I think.
Yep, Richie gets a yellow, and Brian Dignan. The two of them have been the main men from the placed slithers. And Brian gives it plenty of meat, and the crowd behind him roars, so you can tell that it's over the bar before we even see the white flag. And that's 3 in it now. 8 minutes have gone in extra time, and Tullamore leads by 14 points to 11. Drops into the middle. A blue hand goes up for it, but no clean possession. The referee says play on, and then he gives a free. As Michael McCormick goes to ground, it's a free for Maghera, and Michael looks to have a little bit of bother there. He's come on as a sub, but it looks like he's got cramp. Yep, he's got cramp. That's the first we've seen of that, but it's probably not going to be the last that we're going to see of it. What do you think, Sean? Have Maghera got more left in the tank? Are they going to come back from this with the wind in the second period?
Well, you know, most of the scores today, even in the latter stages of the game, have come from frees. So it's all about, again, commitment and winning that free. And there's no better school than Maghera for hard commitment, great effort, direct play. So it's still there, Jerome. It's only one puck of the ball.
And we've only had one goal chance in the entire game. Not that it was a very clear chance, but no one's really been going for goals. But in the second half, I mean, if you were in managing at halftime, would you be saying just go for it and take your frees, or are you just saying go for it, go for a goal? We need a goal here.
I think you would be looking to get a first score in the second half, and then depending if that didn't come, you would be telling the boys that it comes to a stage and I let you know, put the ball in there and let's go for it.
Last 5. Okay, Richie Mullen is going to take this, and Michael McCormick sadly has limped out of the action from a Maghera point of view, so they're a man down that way, but they're still firing, and I think that was 27. I don't even have a 27 in my program, so I don't know who that is, but he put it wide, and that is the important information that you need. Tullamore now, and we've gone over the 10 minutes. They are seeing if they can get another score and increase the gap to 4 points, which would be pretty significant. We're 1 minute left of injury time. We're already nearly 30 seconds into that, so I think we're about up. It's going to be a 3-point gap at the end of extra time, unless Maghera can work something very quickly here. 10 minutes, 35, 37, 38 seconds. Richie Mullen yet again fires it in there. Oh, it might drop here. We could have a chance. Fenton Bradley is number 13. Can he get a bit of space? If he can get it out, Dominic Bradley's there, and they could maybe muster up something, but no, it looks like that move is going to come to nothing. We're now exactly 11 minutes. Oh, they've got a free.
Yep,
they've got
free
a free
in for lying on the ball.
They're lying on the ball. Okay, well then there'll have to be time for that. They'll allow time for that. And yeah, Mullen is coming up to take it. That's within his range. And from looking at a possible 4-point gap, we could be looking at a 2-point gap. And this score would be Maghera's first score of extra time. I think they only got 2 points, no, 3, maybe 4 in the whole of the second half. But this not only would bring them to 2, it would give them a great lift. Now Mullen with a white helmet stoops, gives it plenty of power. Oh, that looks too...
Yes, a great
it's
score.
over. It's over. Well done, Richie Mullen, yet again. And Maghera fans acknowledge that. And sometimes it's a great way to go in when you've just got a score. At 14 points to 12, Uha Maghera, they are still very much in this game, Sean. We'll be back in a minute with the second period of extra time. Come on, you boys in blue. St. Pat's Maghera in the huddle, getting a few last words from Paul Hughes and Ronan O'Donnell, and I see Sean Marty Lockhart is down there as well. And certainly a lot of vocal encouragement from the supporters as we go into the last period of extra time. The referee, John Keane, about to throw the ball in. There are 2 points in it. You are watching coverage of the Masita GAA All-Ireland Post-Primary Schools Hurling B final for the Paddy Buggy Cup. My co-commentator is Sean McGordy, who knows all about schools, knows all about hurling, and he will be giving you his opinion in a minute. But let's follow the action as Tullamore gets straight into the attack, and certainly plenty of energy, despite the fact that these boys must be very tired. There's a lot at stake, and they are going to give everything for 10 minutes. And it's all at this stage about passion, discipline as well. Don't do anything stupid, and just try and stay in the game. There hasn't been a goal so far. That would be huge if we managed to do that. And that's a little bit over exuberant there from the Tullamore point of view, so it's a free to Maghera. We have 9 minutes to go. The goalkeeper, Kieran Hendry from Lavey, comes out to take it. He'll use the wind. Maghera have the wind advantage, and certainly he gets plenty of distance, but it's fallen to Colaiste Choilm. Now, what can Maghera do? They have Pádraig O'Kane, one of the best players on show today. Fires it deep into enemy territory where the blue shirts are outnumbered. And Ross Ravenhill does extremely well there for the lads from Offaly to win a free, and he gets the ball moved forward as well. That's the sort of defending that they need.
Yeah, Jerome, I noticed Maghera calling their extra man at the back up and tell him to go up front. I mean, there's no point in hanging back now. It's all or nothing.
Yeah, just over 8 minutes to go.
Substitution on the Tullamore side, number 21, Colaiste, will replace number 9, Inniskeen.
He's complaining about something.
Yeah,
Maybe
complaining about the interference from the management in Tullamore. It's wasting time. Richie Mullen needs to put the ball on the 21 and take it.
They haven't got much time, so they need to get on with it. Or maybe he's not happy with the slither, because he lifted the slither. No, the slither's gone back down, and he's going to get on with it now. But that's eating away a few precious seconds. We're coming up to the 16th minute of extra time, and here's Richie. He goes for his point. Has he got it? No, it's drifted to the right. There are still 3 points in it. Colaiste Choilm lead by 15 points to 12. 3 minutes 45 seconds, and the goalkeeper has gone looking for that slither. He's gone out the gate.
Come on, Fitzy!
Coming back in the gate. And the referee will add on a little bit for that, I'm sure, but Maghera will be getting all the more anxious because time is running out for them. And Colaiste Choilm have one hand on the Paddy Buggy Cup. The referee has held up play. He's not happy with something. He's signalling to his linesman. I'm not sure what that signal means.
Yeah, somebody signalled 4 minutes of extra time.
Oh, right, okay. I don't think we'll be having 4 minutes of extra time. There's 4 minutes to go, 3 minutes to go. Okay, Paddy Quinn steps up now, and
That's a wonderful score.
No
Drew.
way.
All the way over
yes,
the bar.
He's got it. Now that's exactly what you need. He punches the air. There's 3 minutes left. That is what you need in an All-Ireland final with 3 minutes to go in extra time, to bring it back to a 2-point game and to lift your team. Brilliant play by Paddy Quinn. The slither is back in play. It falls to Ross Ravenhill for Colaiste Choilm. He gets it up the pitch a little bit. But Liam McCann from Cregan says, I'll have that. He fires it forwards. Now it drops to Maghera. They've got a little bit of a chance. There's a goal chance on here. He goes for goal. Doesn't get a strike on it. And Patter McLaughlin's shot
didn't hit it at all.
Falls tamely into the goalkeeper's arms. We thought that might have been a moment for glory for Patter and for Maghera. But instead, the goalkeeper cleared his lines. And we're now less than 2 minutes from the end. We might have a little bit of injury time, but we've 2 minutes left and there's 2 points in it. Nice hook there by Tiernan McHugh from Maghera, and that ends up in a sideline ball for Maghera. Tullamore sent in a substitute. That'll lead up a few more seconds. Mark Dillon comes. Is he going on or off? Now he's already been on. Oh, there's a man injured. There's a man injured going off. Cramp, as you would expect at this time. Now Paddy Quinn with the sideline, and it goes into play, and that's a brilliant bit of fielding, but then he drops it right away. So we're back into a bit of messy, scrappy play. It is pucked forwards. Oh, a little bit of room for Billy Fogarty. He kicks it forward. He's got space. He'll go for a score. And I think that's over. Are they going to give it? Yes, they are. That's a brilliant point from Billy Fogarty to put 3 points in it. And we're in the last minute of normal time, of extra time if you follow. So time is nearly up. Colaiste Choilm are so close to claiming the Paddy Buggy Cup. The supporters sense it. They're on their feet. Maghera need a goal. We haven't had a goal in all of this game. There's a stick broken on a Colaiste Choilm player, but he doesn't even flinch. They're tough men and awfully, and they're also going to be successful men today by the looks of it. They're going to claim this cup for the first time ever for Colaiste Choilm from Tullamore. We are now 19 minutes and 50 seconds, so this is the last play or so of the game. We haven't heard anything about more stoppage time. Oh, lovely catch by that man Fogarty. Come at the hour, come at the man, because he scored the point a minute ago and now he's one possession. He's not going to do it again, is he? He's gone lower. And Kieran Hendry easily takes that. The referee has his whistle in his mouth. We are into stoppage time. Maghera need a goal to save this. But Colaiste Choilm are not going to be defeated on this day, because they have shown tremendous heart, skill, commitment. Ross Ravenhill was the man with that superb catch a minute ago. They have shown tremendous character in extra time, tremendous energy, enthusiasm, determination. There are seconds left. It's 20 minutes and 40 seconds gone. It's been a long afternoon. It's been a tiring afternoon. It's been dramatic. Luke Egan, who has been one of the real stars, has found Fogarty again, and all of a sudden Fogarty is the man, and this time he's fouled. And that, I would say, is just about that. And it looks like Tullamore are going to do it, Sean.
Yeah, Maghera out on their feet. They've given absolutely everything. And just Tullamore that little bit more skillful at the end of the day. And that's what's won it for them.
But you have to say, for a B final, it's had just about everything.
It's had everything.
And number 11, Brian Dignan, pops over the point to make 4 in it and to win it. There are tremendous scenes of celebration on the pitch with the managers, the players, the supporters are running onto the pitch. It's history for Colaiste Choilm from Tullamore. They have won the Masita GAA All-Ireland Post-Primary Schools Hurling B final. They have come from behind. They have won it after extra time. 17 points to 13 points. And although you feel for Maghera, you also have to say that they deserved it. My thanks to Sean McGordy for his co-commentary. He has left me now, but he is going down to present the Paddy Buggy Cup to the captain of Colaiste Choilm from Tullamore. The supporters, as you can see, are on the pitch. And next, we will have that presentation.